In life, some are born leaders, some are trained to be leaders, while others are bequeathed leadership positions. Following her trajectory from cradle, one thing stands out clearly about her leadership virtue. It's a calling. Born with a large heart and a special assignment to make society a better space, Juliet defied the norm. The goal-oriented legal practitioner intends to one day administer justice at the highest level, becoming a global voice and a shining example for women in Africa. Her spirit is undoubtedly inflamed by the passion to birth a society that is devoid of injustice, regardless of social or economic status. She believes in the saying that life always rewards efforts, which is why at the age of 25, she made a bold decision to start her own law firm. Join me in welcoming Juliet Ikeyare on Today's Woman.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you.
At quite a young age, 25, you established your law firm. How easy was that?
I would first of all appreciate God for the wisdom to actually conceptualize such thoughts than my family. You know, one thing about a good family is that it just gives you that support system for you to be able to proceed with whatever vision you have, especially when they can actually encourage you. And so that was what I had. Those were the things that just inspired me.
All right, aside being a lawyer, you have taken a bold step in humanitarian activities and a bolder one in the political space. What drives this passion?
Okay, growing up, I used to tell people that I just want to live a life of impact because I understood something at an early age that once you actually become a solution provider, definitely life will just reward you. And you don't even need to go helter-skelter looking for what to do, but just find something that you find passion in. And so one thing I just enjoyed was just becoming a person that wanted to leave an impact in society. And that was what drove me at an early age to begin to push towards that direction because at 15, I got admission to read linguistics at the university. And thereafter, when I wanted to study law, but I was given linguistics to study in the university. Well, I was not discouraged. Like I said, all credit goes to family support. My mom kept telling me, Juliet, you have always wanted to read law. No matter what it takes, keep pushing. If possible, whatever it takes, write that jam, I will be there to support you. And so that was it. After the graduation from linguistics, I proceeded to read law. And so that just pushed towards that advocacy journey, and then we began it from there.
Okay. You have an NGO.
Yes, I do.
You have a law firm.
Yes,
and you're a politician.
Absolutely.
Many would say you're doing this just to prove a point. Is that the case?
Not at all.
Okay, fine. So what kind of impact have you been able to achieve in society with all this?
Okay, judging from the law firm, yes, the law firm, Macom's J Attorneys is one that actually provides services to people ranging from representation in courts, in various enforcement agency, and then corporate practice. So it's more like a general practice organization. And the core values are integrity, compassion, and commitment. I noticed a lot of things. People complained about some lawyers they're not committed to what their briefs. And so understanding this, I wanted to create that niche for myself. So we make sure once we get your job, we follow through. Though we know that there are some intervening circumstances of society which you cannot but help. But at the end of the day, there's this core value which we stick to, that efficiency, integrity is our watchword. And so for me, that alone is a contributory value to society, and people are always very excited. Most time I hear my clients say, you're just different, and it excites me. So to me, those things, it's something from a very young age. I don't know what propelled, but it's just my nature. I love it when I make impact in whatever sphere I find myself. Then humanitarian, before I was called to the bar, I also had experiences whereby someone would be like, hey, Juliet, can you help me encourage some young people? You've actually read a first degree, you're going back to study law, we know the situation, the commitment, understanding, ASU strikes and all in Nigeria, not just abroad. Help us to encourage these young people to see that their dreams are valid. And I just jump on it. So I know, yes, my calling is just to motivate, to inspire, and then help, not to lie, because I know that there's people that just want to motivate you, but through a lying path. But the thing is that we just want something that people see the reality, that it's possible, not that you're giving people false theories, but giving them an example that, yes, in a situation whereby you can come from an average home and you can actually push through, once you just have the desire, I'm sure nature will just assist you, and just divinity will just find a way of making all your dreams align. So that's for the humanitarian part. So those things pushed me, and then it's spurred me to actually incorporate such the NGO, and after which I had already started making impact in the political sphere. So the name, I couldn't use some other name, but just my name, because we know how much people would like to cover what you've been doing, except your media friendly. I keep on saying I appreciate the media a lot. If you're not very outspoken, you don't present yourself to the media, people just said a false narrative about you. So we had to go through the Juliet A.C. Kyrie Foundation, which actually accommodates issues. Objectives are mainly civic education, ethics building, social interaction, and all those things. I picked it out of society. There's a low level of values in society, and when we go to school to talk to young kids at age 13, I get surprised with clips, and we have all these video clips, and you hear them saying, Ma, please, I want to ask a question. What if I don't want to join cultism at my early age and my friends are pressuring me? I'm like, really? At JSS3, people still want to join? People are in cults? I'm like, ooh, it has gone bad. And when you hear them conversing with you, you hear them talking about, Auntie, please, I just want to just make money. You hear the passion at such a young age, and then if these children are not properly guided, the things we call societal manners, we are actually brooding it without knowing.
Yeah.
So those things actually, when I see that they ask me questions and I know they are willing, they are open to learning, because these are the formidable age, and we go to young to schools whereby their foundation, they're still trying to build themselves. So they're not difficult to bend anymore, and we don't use force. It's just through counseling. And we know a whole lot of things has gone wrong in the country, how much of our counseling sessions are working. So we just want whatever quota we can just give to society, I just want to give that. Then the issue of social interaction.
Yeah.
I noticed that for the young people, there's a mixed value system. Everything is all about money. But what do we want as a people? And I keep saying it, if we do not come together to have goals, purpose, or we don't have shared visions as young people, there's actually going to be a void, and everybody just keep doing whatever they want to do. And so when we bring people together, we make sure we optimize the consequences, causes, effect, and you just see people will just get to share your visions with you, especially when you're a person of repute, because I notice if you're somebody, people tend to listen to you more. So those were the things that just encouraged me to go and push all the way down to forming an organization that has to enable social interactions.
So how easy was it for you at a very young age to come up with this in terms of your humanitarian activities? And how easy has it been for you, getting the young ones on board?
I don't know. At times, I just get shocked and surprised the way young people, and there was a video they made of me recently, and then they were like, you are a person of influence. You don't need to do much. You just see us coming. And these were not just said by men, but said by young ladies. And when I hear this, I get so excited when I see beautiful young girls, because the minority before was, some young girls cannot actually volunteer. Young girls they don't have time to do all this. And when you see young people get attracted to my personality, then I know there's something changing. And I don't know, I don't want to explain it, but the thing is I just want to live a life that will influence people in the right direction. Okay.
So we're coming back to your political career. Do you think the presence of women, in the political space, even elective and appointed positions, can bring about the necessary change we need when it comes to policies in the country?
Absolutely. Absolutely, because there are a whole lot of policies that are not just gender inclined, but they can also help to shape the economy and actually help shape the society. You know, like I was talking about the issue of civic education, you know, as a woman who actually is in charge of training, building of the home, and for this reason, she will be able to embrace the initiative behind parastatals like NOA, the National Orientation Agency, which we all know has been dormant for years.
Yeah.
So if, for instance, a woman with character actually heads such organization, I'm sure definitely will have an impact. Then the issue of economic development and empowerment for the society. You see that, I keep saying it the statistics have it that in Africa, 70% of women are involved in agricultural production. And so we as a nation now, we are trying to tilt from oil production down to agriculture. And we try to, most times the women are actually sidelined, not understanding the fact that even women actually contribute a quota. In fact, over the years, they go to the farm produce. Even right here in Abuja, when I go to places like Igu, Shire, I hear the women complaining, we can't even go to our farms anymore because of insecurity issues. Now, that's to show you that even women, I don't know how much the torchlight has been put on those people, even women actually contribute their quota. They're actually people that form the drive towards enhancing the agricultural sector. Now, having understood this, a woman who actually is there to actually, you know, one thing I look at about governance, you need to put yourself in situations for you to understand what people need. If you're far off, if you are somebody that does not conceptualize issues, you don't have empathy, you don't have a foresight. Yes, that's the word, foresight. It's easy for people to talk to you and it just passes your ear and you don't want to just do something. So if a woman actually understands this, she will be able to contribute her own quota to advancement of the economy. So that's just one sector of the agriculture. And then we now look at societal building. We're looking at how to curb menaces, the issue of drug abuse. You're talking, so a woman's place in politics and governance cannot be overemphasized.
Okay, talking about a woman's place in politics and governance not being overemphasized, what has been the challenges in general? You're young, you're new, a new face, a new energy and all that. What has been the challenges?
Now, I look at it that I've even made much headway than even for someone who is just coming into the space, because what I've been able to do is that I don't just talk without even understanding what's been going on. So I think one of my blessings in the political race is the fact that I look deep. I have a deep insight towards situations. So whenever I'm talking, I don't just talk on the surface. And the challenges has been that for the women, I feel there's no much collective effort to bring ourselves to the forefront, and it has actually affected us over time. And then most times when I talk about this, and then I always tell people to cast their glances back to what it has been before I came in. So we are not lying. Why don't we actually go and do something different from what we've been doing before? And how can we do something different? I give an example of what's going on today, the youth's collectivity to actually champion a cause. And I kept telling people, any sector that feels marginalized, the reason is because of lack of unity. Now, what did the youth do differently? When I'm talking to youth, I keep saying this, I am one of the most happiest people on this race, because there was a time I ran for office, I was speaking to you guys, and you people did not listen because you felt it did not measure up, or it didn't make sense, because what has the office of a local government council got to do with governance? But today, the issue of collection of PVC, the issue of wanting voters, education, I see the joy and excitement. And when you go on Twitter space, there's no way they mention a trend of young politicians and they will not add Barrister Juliet. I get excited, and I always tell them, I say, I'm happy that at least my voice has become something that the youths want to even appreciate quickly. But the thing is, it doesn't just stop at the youth. What about the women? I even tweeted something about it this morning. I was saying, we do not just want a situation whereby the youths just embrace this drive. We want the women. So
just the women?
We also want the women.
Just the women.
Not just the women. We also want them. So in addition to what the youths are doing, we want the women.
Okay.
Also, so that they can
all right.
a strong force.
All right. We'll be going for a break. Join us soon.
TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. Back to our questions. In governance, do you think age equals experience, or it's based on previous achievements?
For me, I think that every leadership assignment, experience will actually play a key role. Yes, it will actually play a key role. And so, however the experience takes its form, it's now for the individual who is going to be assigned such leadership role to be able to appreciate, because there's no straitjacket rule to the kind of experience you have when you want to get leadership position, or when leadership positions come to you. But the experience needs to be there. It's very important.
Okay, you're young. You would have had a lot of demeaning words being thrown at you because you're a woman. Female politicians face a lot of, this kind of words. So the words like she's female and weak, it's a recurring thing in the political space in Nigeria. What's your take on this? Why do we still have this recurring stigma? And not just from the men, but also from, the women sometimes.
No. In life, there will always be challenges. For me, whenever I see situations like this, or I hear people encounter, I just tell them, what would you do differently to counter such? Because once there's a way, there will be a will. And so definitely, you just have to find ways to I'm not saying downplay it, but find a way to just move over or move past it. I give myself as an example. When I was to run for the primaries, where I emerged winner, I remember a week to the election, there were a whole lot of conversations which even sprang from women, but actually in connivance with the men, that, oh, she's this, she's that, she's just coming in. But I just kept a straight face, because I knew it didn't define me. And I know I came to the race based on recognition of what we had done before. So I was confident in my abilities. So I saw past what they were saying. And I just looked at my own introduction into the political sphere as a thing of a sacrifice. And that's not a huge word to say, because whatsoever you do in life, there is always a sacrificial part you play. Even when you want to get money, your hard work is a sacrifice. You want to make impact in society. Going out there to get shaped by the challenging situations is your sacrifice. So for me, when I just put all this together, I just moved past it and I just trusted God. I just trusted God, because my emergence and my coming into the political race was something that I needed to really process deep. So I just trusted the process. I heard a whole lot of things, but I was not discouraged. I just knew what I stood for, and I knew since it's something of ethics and value, definitely the world will definitely align with it. So that was what even saved me, and it's what has been saving me even right now in the race. So it's common for people to say a whole lot of things, but what then do you do? How do you react to it?
Okay, coming with fresh ideas, one would expect that you have a new path. You have an idea on how women, can play along the political and power dynamics in the political space in the country. So what are some of your ideas that you have for women, to maneuver the political power play in the society?
Okay, it may look like it's been said for over a long period of time, but I feel that one of the ideas would be that women support groups need to be more sincere with their visions.
Yeah.
And therefore look for ways to beep up or beam the light of women who they feel can represent their interests. When I mean interests, I don't mean selfish interests, but I mean collective interest of women issues in society, and also the interests of everyone in the society. Because I usually go about telling people, I say, I'm not just here in the race for just women alone. It's more of societal reshaping. So it's not just carrying the women's cross, but we need women's involvement, women's input to helping to make, it's a collaborative effort. So understanding this, for me, I feel it's more of a balanced society to avoid pricking the other people, making them feel uncomfortable with why women. How do you balance it? So that's one idea. Understand that women need to champion this cause, because if you do not fight for what you want, nobody does it for you. I use the example of racism for the blacks. The blacks came together. The whites did not come to fight racism for the blacks. They actually championed the cause. And if women feel we are marginalized, how much are we willing to go? And I keep on saying it. I'm not just saying what I don't do. What I do differently, one of the ideas is that there's no program you call me to mentor a young girl, I will not jump at it. I don't even need the money. And I don't know that lady. I don't know those ladies. But what we want, you're trying to plant a seed that has not been sown over time. I keep on saying it, that there's a huge gap between the younger generation and the older woman. These people are crying out for people to mentor them. They just want you to just give them that listening ear, just like society. You hear when you go for political campaign and a lot of people say, we just want access to your leader. We just want, so that's to show you it's a need. There's a calling that come.
But when they call for this access to your leader, don't you think most people just want access to the leader just to air their problems and see if they can be given some kind of succor or financial assistance or something like that?
When I said mentoring, I don't just mean we're giving them money. We're coming from the psychological rebalancing. There is this gap. It's not much of it. We're not talking about the social impact, the socio-economical impact. No, the mentoring. You need to give these people guidance. It's just like what they read in the books, but they don't want to see a face to those theories. How can it be done? How do you now make them see that, oh, it can be done? A lot of people feel this glimpse of hope that yes. So when you get to talk to those people, you can now give a solution, how they can navigate their way in life. It's not just politics. Okay. It could be business, finding balance in your mental psyche, because this journey we are is one of, it's a tough one.
Okay, I'm going to come to our final question. You decided to start right at the center. Why is this? Someone will ask, as a young person, female, we expected that you'll be starting from the grassroots, but you're starting right at the center, the Federal Capital Territory. Why? What's the magic you want to do there?
Do you mean the House of Reps?
Yes.
Okay. In 2021, I was a member.
We
of
want you to wrap that.
Yes,
in
yes.
2-3 minutes.
Yes, because it's just something that one has to just be careful, just take time to state. Because in 2021, when I was introduced into politics and wanting to stand in gap for the women, we picked a ticket to run for councillor. And I ran for councillor in February 12, 2022 this year. I was just 26. And then the minimum age was 25, so just a year older. And because of the kind of traction we created, the buzz around Barrister Juliet, that there's an energy in a woman, if properly harnessed, we can actually change our political sphere. That same reason made the national call me to come pick a form a week to the elections. And we picked the form and we won landslide, 68 to 26 votes. So I couldn't have been waiting to tell them, oh, wait, let me wait till 2026. It was just, it's predestined. There was nothing I could do. I had to search myself, and there was a promise because according to the Constitution, your party sponsors you. So on that promise, oh, we'll sponsor you, just go and try and win your primaries. And I won my primaries, and that was how we emerged.
Okay, I'm sorry, I know I said that was the last question, but I really need to ask this. What's the next step for you, just in case, if there's an if, you don't get to win?
I'm practicing law. It's a profession until death.
But you still be on the political scene.
My advocacy will always be until my old age.
Okay. It's lovely to see young women not allow themselves to be kept down by limited expectations of society. We need to train our daughters to overcome the female self-doubt that is most times driven by the bias in our world culture. As Juliet pursues her goals and contributes her quota to national development, we should also ensure we support the calling of the young generation of women. Thank you for being our guest today.
Thank you so much.
Find your niche, stick to it with perseverance. Do keep a date with us next week when we bring you another interesting guest. I remain your host, Aminat Hassan. Stay safe and remain blessed.